Dear all, welcome to a new series of my lecturing. This is with respect to CA final amendment notifications and what are the amendments you have to cover for the November 2020 exam. I don't know, though I know that all eagerly waiting for the November exam because the previous exam has merged to this, and so studying and covering the amendments in law paper, my paper is very important. So this is basically an overview, session, so that we will have a separate session on each topics, a little bit lengthy, maybe different parts. So make sure that you attend all the or you watch all the parts. So only then you will get a overall, thorough knowledge of all the amendments. So friends, so this is the part one of my session with respect to CA final, corporate and economic laws for the new syllabus and corporate and allied laws for the old syllabus. Basically, the company law I'm little merging the both amendments so that it will be very easy for you all. The amendment is basically with respect to there are amendments in Companies Act, that is a company law. Of course, in FEMA you have in SEBI and every part of their exclusively you have amendments in the prevention of money laundering also. So I told you, we will have covering that in different parts. So this part is the first part. It's an overview of the company law directors area. That is the main area where the marks should come. So that is the first discussion. Is the part one of the video is order with respect to the amendments which you have covered. You should have covered in company law, especially in the directors area. So this is the part one. So friends, the main amendment here is basically with respect to you have two things. One is the act, and of course you have to cover the amendments in the rules. So with respect to act, don't forget to cover the 2019 amendment, and before that you must mind you that 2017 amendment also you have to cover. So you have to cover basically the 2017 amendment with respect to audit committee, loans, etc. Many amendments were there in 2017. It is a little bit old now, but you have to cover that. Then coming to 2018 amendment, that is very important because we have something called as and companies amendment ordinance 2018. So there is some amendments in 18 also. And don't worry because the companies amendment ordinance 2018 and companies amendment ordinance 2019 and companies amendment second ordinance 2019 has now been merged into the companies amendment act 2019. So in nutshell, what I supposed to intend to say is you have to cover 2017, which is very important amendment, and plus you have to cover the 2019 amendment. So these are the two amendment acts: Companies Amendment Act 2017 and Companies Amendment Act 2019. In between there were ordinances 2018 2019, there were two ordinances. Everything is now being merged to the Companies Amendment Act 2019. So this will be the real task to cover 2017 amendment and 2019 amendment act. If you cover the both act, that amendment act 2017 and of course the amendment act in 2019, you need not want to cover the intermediate ordinances. So that is the with respect to act. And if you ask me, sir, what are the main areas, just to pinpoint the main areas amendment which were in 2019 amendment is with respect to CSR. It's very important area amendments has been happening in section 135, the provisions related to CSR. Then of course the provisions relating to operational mismanagement is very important. There are a lot of amendments happening. So we have to cover that operational mismanagement. Then, of course, the major amendments is with respect to the penalty aspects, which is not that much important for exam point of view, but for academic sense, you have to cover the penalties also. So, friends, these are the bunch of acts which you have to cover. I'll repeat again: Companies Amendment Act 2017, then Companies Amendment Act 2019. In between, there were ordinances, but it has been now been culminated into the Companies Amendment Act 2019. So there is no issue that you need to want to go into the history of the same. So two amendments. Don't forget from Act 2017, from Act again 2019. Now coming to rules, which is very important because there are many amendments which has been brought through rules. So it is very important that you have to cover the rules. The first set is of course the AQD rules, that is the company's appointment and the qualification of directors amendment rules, that what is called short called what we usually call as the AQD rules. In AQD rules you have something in 2019 amendment with respect to the data bank and the online assessment examination for independent director. Again, very important area for CA final. You have to study in thorough. Second one, again AQD amendment is there in 2020 with respect to some exemptions with respect to the online assessment of the independent directors. So again you can just only one amendment there, but you have to be very careful about this. So 2019 AQD rules there is an amendment. 2020 again in equity rules there is an amendment. And again you have to we note that in equity rules again we have a second amendment in 2020, that is again with respect to that data bank, with respect to the time limit. So friends, 2019 equity amendment, 2020 equity amendment, and 2020 second equity amendment all are relating to the provisions with respect to the independent directors, especially with respect to the data bank to be maintained by the Institute of Corporate Affairs, Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, and with respect to the eligibility requirement, that is with respect to the conducting and passing of the online assessment test for the independent directors. So that is the area. So it actually focuses mainly on the independent directors area of your syllabus. Now you have another amendment in ARMB rules. There ARMB, you know that appointment and remuneration of managerial personnel rules. That is especially with respect to the appointment of company secretary. You have a separate chapter for company secretary practice, and this is also relevant for the area key managerial personnel. Early there was Rule A and Rule 8A. Again, an amendment is brought in Rule 8A with respect to the appointment of whole-time company secretary with respect to the private companies. Early it was 5 crores or above. Now it has been elevated to for private companies having more than 10 crores or above paid up capital. So that is an amendment which we will separately cover in our coming sessions. And of course, there is a rule in MBP amendment also, that is the meeting of board and its powers. Rules also, that is MBP rules also, there is an amendment in 2019, that is with respect to related party transactions limit under section 188. So friends, if I in nutshell, if I say our today's discussion is regard to two things. One is with respect to Act, that is 2017 Amendment Act and 2019 Amendment Act. Then coming to rule, equity rules 3 times amended, 2019, 2020, 2020 again second amendment. Then ARMB rules, it's an amendment with respect to CS appointment, which is very important when you learn about the key managerial personnel. Then ultimately you have some amendment in the MBP rules, that is with regarding to the meetings of board and its powers, and that amendment is nothing but with related party transaction limits. So friends, this is a simple overview video. We will come with each and everything. We will come with a different part videos. And today's video is with respect to overview of the amendments in the CA final, corporate and economic law with respect to company law portion, with respect to directors area. So very important, please tune and please don't forget to subscribe my channel. There are a lot of videos already there. We have a specialized video for FEMA, FCRA, company law, everything. But this is all about amendments to be prepared for the November 2020 exam, which is very soon coming. Hope you are all fine. And I will obviously post separate videos with respect to these amendments which I just touched upon as an overview today. And after this, listening to this overview, it is very pertinent that you also look into the separate videos which will be broadcasting. Hope you are all fine. And any doubts or any specific clarification with respect to any amendments, please let me know so that I can take a separate video on that. So this is a part 1. Overview of Companies Act amendment with respect to directors chapter for your CA final November 2020 examination. See you soon in the next part in a detailed video. Thank you.